AI is solving a very real business problem. Yeah. And that business problem is unsolvable without AI. Like, we don't have the manpower, we don't have the production budget to shoot bespoke assets for every piece of inventory that Salvation Army has. With generative AI, that totally becomes possible.
It was a really simple idea. It started as, what if we used billboards and out of home as a way to kind of create attention and get buzz, and thought about out of home in a different way. Well, what was behind that billboard was a real radio station. And so we just got to thinking, how could we bring a real radio station to life? And so we worked with Google to bring to life 106.3 The Fizz FM, which was a real radio station, almost 4 hours of content and programming, all made through AI. Gemini came up with some really good lyrics. Of course, they were curated and kind of picked the best ones, but we came out with 40 songs. We like to say that we use AI as a time machine. Slice had a lot of fans back in the 80s and 90s. It had a cult following. We wanted to really honor that era. It was really cool how specific it would get. The Fizz was a lot of our first time putting AI into the world as the final product. So that was something a lot of us had to get comfortable with. And then in terms of finalizing the work and getting a final eye on everything, we were zooming into every corner, making sure that if we needed to do a revision on it, that it was up to par. So it really raised the bar for us internally on approving what AI makes, and how, when it gets past that into the world mode, that was the biggest thing for us. So The Fizz was a hit. We got over 120 million impressions and counting, over 50,000 streams on the online website, and then 180,000 listeners to the actual analog station in LA. So knowing that we wanted to launch in LA as a hotspot for healthy beverages to first upstart, we wanted to make sure LA was the home base there, and to get 180,000 ears and eyes on Slice for their big launch moment this summer was a huge success.
This was kind of a perfect example for an impossible ad, because they have such a unique business challenge where they only ever have one of anything, which makes it really hard to advertise that one thing. What if we decided to create ads for things that we no longer have in our stores because it was gone yesterday? So that's where the idea of the thrift that got away came about. And what we did is we used generative AI to create very editorial, high-end imagery of items that were already off our shelves. So think of it just almost like fashion magazine photography, that we took reference images of back of house stock. So not nice images, just the basic stuff that you'd shoot on your iPhone. We used that as the data set to create this high-end lifestyle imagery. And then we created what was basically a SaaS system or software where we could take that image and then automatically populate kind of designed ads within that. And we built that system with Gemini and their code base, which was shocking how easy that was. I'm not a developer in any way, shape, or form, and working with a developer and seeing how fast that came to life was absolutely amazing.
When I first started at advertising, social media ads were just kind of coming onto the scene, and I remember some of my ad dads, as I called them, were coming to the young kids to be like, we need to learn Instagram, and it really was a way for generations to be bridged within an agency, and it was kind of this mentality of the train's moving no matter what, so you got to find a place to get on that makes sense for you.
Yeah, I would say it's not too late. We're still only a couple years into this. It might feel like so much has happened and you're too far behind, but I assure you you're not. I think these things are built to be intuitive and to communicate like humans do. So just start playing around with it, start experimenting with it, and you'll be surprised how fast you can adopt it.